I had these made up to bring down here. Now, I got these out of a magazine that was very old. Now, this, you know, this is a flea circus. There's the chariot race, and there's the trapeze, and there's a flea juggling a ball here, and I don't know what the, oh, that's the flea that walked on the trapeze. And then they had, this is what they look like close up, see? And they put the harness on them. See, they were real fleas. A lot of people say, oh, no, we're real fleas. They're real fleas. And Professor Heckler's father started this. He started from scratch. That's a joke. I got to distinguish between the jokes and the...
So the fleas, I mean, I think people don't believe that it actually is a flea circus, that this is a real thing.
Well, this is pictures. This is the real thing. One picture's worth 1,000 words. There's a flea there with a harness on it. They would take a single strand, a gold wire, very thin gold wire, and they would twist it till they got a loop. See how that is? And they put the loop over the front 2 legs and then the neck, and they'd squeeze it with a tweezer, and then they, how you train them. So you have to train them first. Fleas jump. So what you have to do is you put them in a tube.
Why don't we talk about, I'll hold those, and then we'll shoot those separately.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Well, don't make me crazy.
I won't. I was going to say, if you could just explain the fleas again. You had to, like...
It's in a tube. He's in a test tube. And fleas jump. Bing, bing. And he hits his head. And when he hits his head, they refuse to jump anymore. They'll either stay still or they'll crawl. And at that point, there's trains. See, because the flea only lasts 4 or 5 days. So but at that point, you put the harness on them, and they don't jump anymore. Now, normally, if you want to train them to juggle, they will, you know, move their feet, but you turn them upside down and you got a little cotton ball and you put it on top of them, and they'll do this number. Now, if you want them to kick the football, you put it on the side, and they will, bing, they'll kick it. That's the ones you don't get that jump. The ones that jump are the ones you use for kicking a football. A lot of people don't know this. And that one, you want them to kick the football. You go in there, you pick up a ball out of the cotton balls, and they'll go, bing, and they'll kick it across the stage. See?
It sounds amazing. I mean, does it take a long process to work with fleas? I mean,
in what respect?
Well, I mean, training, it just kind of is pretty instant.
Well, it's kind of, well, see, you're training, you know, they say train fleas. All the fleas are doing are natural things. If they stop whacking their head, number one, then they'll stay still and they'll crawl, either or. So you can tickle them a little bit when they do the chariot, you know, with, he had a little piece of broomstick. They could tickle you more than you could tickle them, but you know, he'd go to, and they'd run a race, and they'd say, there's Napoleon, and then there's Caesar, and then there's Marcus, I've got to Marcus Aurelius, I can't remember the word. But these 3 little chariots in the cannon, now Napoleon, and they'd pull it across. Now the most important part, a lot of people don't know this part, is they had to work on a white blotter. You know, they're using desks, but the blotter was the gaff on the joint. You don't understand what I'm talking about. That was the secret of training flea. Gaff on the joint, you don't understand. Flea, this was the secret, you understand. Well, the blotter they could get their feet into and they could move. And the white blotter would show them up. You know, when the people were around you, he'd show them. And what he did primarily is he had one on a little thing, like a jeweler's loop, but it was like that little square thing that opens. He had one hanging there, and they used to pass around. People go, see how the little fellows are attached to that. And then they see a real flea, then they could understand what was going on down there. So they knew it wasn't, you know, made up or something.
So and we'll shoot some of these close-ups. We'll get close-ups of the individual.
Have you got that thing of Roy Heckler, David? Roy Heckler, that little thing, it's about this big, and it has Roy Heckler on it, and it shows.
Yeah, we'll shoot that too.
Don't worry, nothing will be all right.
What about when you first went out? What was your first show? When did you first have your own 10 and 1 go out on your own?
Well, I was working in Coney Island, and I was as a talker, and